Okay, cool. Awesome.
All right, fabulous. All right, so Brianna, we're going to start off with just a a basic overview kind of a question. Can you tell us a bit about what does Save a Child's Heart do?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's in our name. We literally save children's hearts. We treat children that were born with congenital heart disease or acquire a heart defect from rheumatic fever later in life or a rheumatic heart defect. And we treat those children free of charge for them and their families. We treat children regardless of race, religion, gender, financial status. We treat them if they come from a place where they do not have access or there's a lack of access in regards to cardiac care, bring them to Israel for free treatment and send them back home healthy and happy. As we've grown, we additionally do two other things that are pretty important and special in addition to treating children. We also train doctors, medical professionals, so they can go back to their home countries and expand access in regards to pediatric cardiac care. And we run medical missions. We're excited. We'll be running our first mission in 2 years at the end of this month, but we will go and work and operate and treat and find children that are in need in countries where we have partnerships or where there's lack of access around the world. So we try and save children's hearts in many different ways and avenues. And that's kind of who we are, and proud to be doing it for just over 25 years.
Amazing. Thank you, Brianna. Yes. So excited to share Save a Child's Heart and the amazing work you've been doing and the group's been doing for a long time. I know you, lived in Israel for a while, Brianna, and got to know a lot of the kids well. What was your nickname amongst the kids and what did it mean? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, in the children's home, what's really special, it functions like a big home and community village for everybody when they're in Israel, either before or after healing surgery. And it just feels like a fun summer camp. It doesn't feel like a place where there are sick kids. And as I was lucky enough to be staffed there for many years and based there, I was known as Rafiki, and Rafiki means friend in Swahili. We use language as obviously a tool, but mostly it was play and hanging out and things like that. There'd be many times I was called many other things, if we're being clear. The word Mzungu for, a white person was often used in Swahili, but I think Rafiki as friend was something that, you imagine a small kid who meets you and after a couple of days, they're pulling your hand, and Rafiki Brianna pulling you and saying, come and play this game with me. Even if we didn't speak the same language. So the house is very much filled with play more than actual words that anybody understands of each other's language. But I did pick up a tiny bit of Swahili because it's very common for a lot of the kids that are coming from Africa, although there's a lot of Amharic in the house as well. But it's definitely, it was an endearing term.
It is an organization with such a wonderful mission. I think that when we've been chatting about it or when we've been doing our own research, I think that it obviously is so compelling to want to get involved and help. Can you tell us a little bit about how people can get involved and help with your organization?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say about over 90% of the work that happens at Save a Child's Heart are people volunteering. And there's ways to do that from all around the globe. The exciting stuff obviously is like hands-on in Israel. If you are visiting Israel, come and visit and spend a morning playing in the garden with the kids and the mothers from all around. It is very, very special. It was a joy, obviously, to have Andrew there with us in the past, but there is something very unique and special. And even as a visitor, you can pick that up. The second you walk in the gate and there's kids running around excited to hop on your lap, take your cell phone, take your glasses, play games. So that is one thing, and people can find out how to visit us through our website, and just if you're coming to Israel, join that way. Additionally, we have an amazing volunteer program where you can actually, like, for an extended amount of time, come and either live and or be in Israel and kind of come in shifts to help provide this like holistic healing environment where you are getting to know the families and the children while they're awaiting surgery or while they're healing from surgery, and just helping make it a fun environment. And then our medical team volunteers their time as a part of what we do and how we function as an organization and how we can treat so many children. every year for the very low cost of $15,000 is because our medical team volunteers their time. And internationally, we have people who do advocacy and fundraisers. We have people on campuses. We have B'nai Mitzvah projects where people are helping share what we do. And some of those individuals are helping directly save a child's life through something that they're doing by funds. And a lot of it is also just helping more people know about this very special humanitarian work that is mending hearts and building bridges.
Yeah, thanks, Brianna. Yeah, well, it's so exciting to learn from you about the amazing work of Save a Child's Heart. And like you said, literally saving children's hearts. That's the thing I always tell people, literally flying children from around the world to Israel and giving them new hearts. And it was beautiful when I got to visit a few years ago, my wife, Molly, meet so many of the kids, and you are just incredible with the kids. And like you said, it feels like a camp. It feels like a fun place to be and a positive experience. I'm curious if you could just share one story, one kid's story that's maybe stuck with you, or just one example of what this looks like for one kid.
Yeah. It's so not fair to pick one, but I was talking with one of the staff members this morning about a little boy named Jack B, who's actually from Rwanda. And the story that she was telling felt very familiar to a child that I was connected to when I was there. This little boy named Abdul, everybody in the house called him Abduli. He had the biggest and the brightest smile, but he had a really hard time just physically walking across the room. He would, because of his heart condition, when there wasn't enough blood circulating through his body, so he would get winded. His hands and feet were always extremely cold. He was very small for his age, and he also he just had even like clubbed fingers and toes because there wasn't enough circulation. But Abduli would just really wanted to play with all the other kids. So he'd make his way across the room to sit on your lap and just be around all of the kids playing and running around. And often you would have Abdul fall asleep on your lap, or he would, something, but he just wanted to be with the activity. And I formed a very close relationship with Abduli, and we saw the magic of what Save a Child's Heart does after his surgery. Children are amazing and resilient. Access to care is amazing and resilient. And he had basically, after his heart surgery, which we don't do transplants, but once we were able to repair the function in his heart that then allowed for all the oxygen to get to where it needed to be, you saw this personality light up. He was ready to run around with the other kids. He had the most contagious, loud, giggly laugh. You could hear him from the other room. All of these things that were dormant before he was able to be healthy. He was ready. He was in the room. He was falling asleep. He wanted to be there. But now you have a kid running around nonstop, laughing, taking everybody's toys, just full and part of the action. And yet a little bit more of a longer healing, recovery, and journey, because all of a sudden he had all of this new energy and he had so much growth, right? He put on all these pounds. We always used to joke that we were making Abduli nice and fat while he was with us, because he finally had, his body could function and work in the way that it had been craving to do so. He was about 3 years old, and to imagine watching a kid not be able to cross the room without being tired and winded, to being the one that was tiring out and winding all of the volunteers from all of his play and activity, is just one of these like special moments that we get to see as a staff member, as a volunteer, and the magic of access to care. And this kid this morning, Jack B, is the same situation, a little 1-year-old boy who took his first steps just last week in Israel. And his mom's like, oh my gosh, what a beautiful miracle. My kid took his first steps in Israel. I never thought he would be able to walk. He was too weak. Those are the kinds of things where you see the resilience of these kids. They're ready for action, smiling, running around. The bounce back is so tremendous, and surprisingly quick once they have that little healthy heart. So it is quite a special place, and these children are amazing and inspiring. And their family members, for the resilience that their family members need to have to really fight to bring them there, and to endure the payoff of then having a smiling, healthy kid is is amazing, and constantly reminded of it.
Awesome.
Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brianna, for sharing the story of Abdul and just the stories in general. And I think, one of the things I love about Name a Child's Heart is that it's in Israel, and I think it's driven by our Jewish values, and it's accessible to everyone, and people from around the world, regardless of religion or country of origin, are getting new hearts. And it's really amazing. And I think an example for us, we at the Bible Players try and really be driven by our Jewish values to be in service of everyone. And I think that this organization is amazing, and really the best of Israel in terms of living out our Jewish values on a global scale. And it's really beautiful. David, I'm going to jump us ahead to some games just to make sure we have time to play. And then if we have time, we might come back for a couple more questions. But we at the Bible Players like to get a little silly and like to play some games. So Brianna, we have some games just for you, some challenges. So quick trivia game, okay? Save a Child's Heart is based in Israel, and Brianna lived in Israel for some years. So we're going to play a little Where Am I in Israel? All right, so I'm going to have some Zoom backgrounds. And Brianna, see if you can identify where am I in Israel. All right, let's see. Here we go.
Pressure's on.
Where am I?
You were at Masada.
Masada, that's right. All right, where am I?
Probably the Dead Sea, but I can't see if you're floating or not.
Yeah, the Dead Sea. Yeah, I'm floating there. All right, where am I?
Well, it depends, because you could be either Machne Yehuda or Shuk in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I'm at a Shuk. I'm at a Shuk somewhere. Maybe.
You're at a Shuk.
All right, last but not least, where am I?
You're at Save a Child's Heart. That's Abduli in the back sitting on Molly's lap.
Oh, that's Abdul in the back that we heard the story about. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And that's so great. So this is one of the boys that I met when I got to visit Save a Child's Heart a few years ago. Just such a wonderful place. I hope folks can visit. This is Mahir, I think was his name, Mahir.
Good thing I passed the Israel quiz. Woof.
Yes, yes, you did. I'd love to do another. Or David, do you want to do our next game? Do you see it there in our list?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was wondering if you could. We're going to put 30 seconds on the clock right now. Could you name all of as many countries as you can that have had a child receive a heart or heart surgery through your organization? That sound square?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's see how I do.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Well, this isn't fair because it's 63 countries, so I'm not going to cover all of them. But we have children that come from both the West Bank and Gaza. We have children come from Iraq, Afghanistan. We've had kids from Myanmar. We've had children from Zanzibar, Tanzania, Zambia, Rwanda. We have had many children from Ethiopia. We've had children from, we've had children from, I don't know how many seconds I have. The hands really make me feel more nervous. We've had kids from Kenya, and we've had a child most recently from, oh geez, I don't know. I froze.
One in there. Get one last one in there.
In general, 50, I'll give you a stat. How about that? 50% of the kids come from the Middle East, which is a lot. So a lot of the neighboring countries we've had kids from, because we can treat them so quickly. And then 40% of the kids come from Africa. So I could have listed a lot more countries from Africa, and I froze. And then 10% come from the rest of the world.
Awesome. Amazing.
That was very impressive.
I'll work on that one for next time.
We knew it was a tough challenge. I know there's so many countries. You said 63.
The timer really does it, right? I could talk all day about Save a Child's Heart, but the timer.
Never had a competitive game show element to it, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well, here's a next game, Brianna, that you can't really get wrong because it's opinion. Okay. You've lived for many years. Obviously, you grew up in the States, and you lived also for many years in Israel. You're fluent in Hebrew and English. So this is a game. Who does it better? Israel or America? Okay, so I'm going to name something, and just your gut choice, who does it better? Okay,
right. I was born for this game.
All right, here we go. Who does it better? Coffee.
Ooh, Israel.
Okay, pizza.
No question, the United States of America.
All right,
New York specifically.
Okay, great. Driving.
Depends on what better is. No rules really there, but where do you feel safer? here.
Okay, great. All right. If you don't like the rules, go there. Okay, great. Fruits and vegetables.
Oh, Israel.
Okay, great. Parties.
Oh, Israel.
Okay, and because it's coming up right now in April, your month, I want to mention Passover.
Israel.
Nice.
Hesitant because I think that we work a little bit harder in terms of having to explain things and living it out and building our own seders in this country. Whereas everybody, it's like it's a week off school, it's a holiday, but it's less about some of the traditions and more about a vacation in Israel. So it depends on your take.
Awesome. Thank you. Those are great. Those were all correct. So you nailed it. Got it perfect. 6 for 6. Wonderful. We wanted to play one improv game with you, Brianna, because we love improv here at the Bible Players. But don't worry, it's easy. You're going to have fun. You're going to be great. Save a Child's Heart is all about helping people from around the world. So this is called the helping game, or Ezra. So for this game, Brianna, it's one of our favorites to play on Zoom. You're going to find an object. All three of us are going to find an object anywhere nearby. Just take 10 seconds, but keep it off screen. Don't show us what object you chose. Just keep it nearby. And the way it works is we're going to ask each other for help with a problem. We have to use our object to solve the problem. So I'll start asking David, and then David, you can ask Brianna, and then Brianna can ask me. So David, my problem is I want to take my dog out on a walk, but I'm out of poop bags. What can you help me with my problem?
Oh my God, have no fear. There's Ezra here because I've got this good vibes only mug. You could scoop up your dog's poop in it, and if you go home and clean it properly, you can have a cup of coffee so you can have energy later on.
Perfect.
Well, Brianna, can I ask you for a little bit of help?
Sure.
I'm having trouble, with my car. I'm having trouble getting my car to start. What could you help me with your object? How can you help me with my car?
My handy dandy marker could potentially, well, one, we could draw on the mirror and see if somebody who actually knows how to fix a car could leave a note. That's great for leaving a note. And I could always, tinker and open up the hood of your car, and we'll see if we put this somewhere, if it helps. Who knows? I don't think that I can help, but this might.
That's okay. I think you did fabulously. All right.
Okay, so my turn to have a problem.
Yeah, so you can ask me. Just make up any problem, big or small.
Big or small. I have to make lunch soon, and it's like about lunchtime. My stomach's getting to churn. So like, what's going to be the fastest thing? How can you help me make lunch through this computer screen?
I have no fear, Brianna, because I've got tape. Okay. And so what you can do is, what's amazing about tape is you can just take it and put it on anyone else's lunch and write Brianna, and now it's Brianna's lunch. So that's amazing. Just go to any fridge at any office or in anybody's house, really.
Yeah.
And tape's amazing. So problem solved.
Commandeering lunch. Great.
Awesome.
For all of ourselves right now.
Yes.
Everybody.
Well, Brianna, it's been so much fun to have you. Is there anything else that we didn't get to talk about Save a Child's Heart that you wanted to share briefly, or maybe just to share how people find Save a Child's Heart online and things, how they find it?
Yeah, in general, if you're interested in learning more about Save a Child's Heart, check out our YouTube channel, check out our website, saveachildsheart.org. We are always trying and excited to have more people get involved from wherever they are in the world. So I'm also always constantly a resource, and my information is obviously on our website. But I think that one of the most special and amazing things, and we kind of mentioned this and touched on it, is that this is really an organization where everybody can be a part of it and make an impact, and help us continue to, save more children's lives. And so it's important to feel like this special place that is in Israel that is doing heart healing work and providing access to care is something that everybody can be a part of. And I think that that's one of the many, many ways that Save a Child's Heart is special, is that it ends up feeling like this big network, this big community, this big village that's all working together. And I think a lot of that stems from us being an Israeli organization. And I think we're very lucky to have supporters from all over the world, because we have children from all over the world. So it's easy to come and be a part of a beautiful world network of something that is making a lasting difference. So yeah, and lucky to say, as you guys probably do on a regular basis, I love what I do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brianna, for being our honorable mention for this month and for the
You
amazing
guys.
work you do this month and every month. So
Thank you.
exciting. And we'll definitely link to all of the Save a Child's Heart on all our posts, a link to the website and to the YouTube channel. I think that's a great place. As Brianna shared, like learning the individual stories of these kids, I think is so amazing. Just to learn, one or two of their stories brings it all home. So thank you so much, Brianna, for spending
Yeah,
time.
thank you all so much.